So coming out of left field, it seems that we have a leak of what the final piece of the Elita-One combiner is going to be. Elita-One's combiner, Elita Infin1te, also known as Orthia. We finally got a good look at that final limb and how it's going to be distributed and how we're going to get it. And how it looks pretty much too. And this is pretty awesome. It is the character of Lancer. And we kind of had an idea that this was coming because if you went to Transformers.com, you got some bonus material from Greenlight's bonus information. Greenlight was the Amazon exclusive Autobot female that was also part of the Combiner. You got some bonus information if you typed in the password Lancer. And so it's something that we kind of had an idea was coming. It was discussed, and now that we see it, it's pretty cool. For people who aren't familiar with the character of Lancer, for the longest time it was an unnamed purple and orange Autobot female. Appeared in the female Autobot episodes and had no lines, very limited screen time, and that was that. Lancer really got her break and her naming in the Flames of Yesterday book, and then later, story. And then later on in the IDW books, had a different design completely from her G1 counterpart, but was used more predominantly in the Windblade-centric books or the Till All Are One books. But still, kind of in a limited capacity was being used here. But it's great that this character actually gets a figure. And the figure, again, is cueing more from its Generation 1 animation Flerodiri counterpart. Now, if there's a negative that I want to bring up here, and it could be a negative, could be a positive, it really depends on how you look at it from a combiner standpoint. It really means that Orthia, aka Elita Infin1te, is going to probably have the most uniform combiner team I have ever seen. Now, the aerial bots always kind of got that like praise that, oh wow, they're all jets, they're all relatively the same size, they're all unique molds, but they're all relatively the same size. So it made a very uniform kind of look for the robot mode of the combiner, as opposed to the big combined robot, as opposed to say like, let's say Autobot cars or Decepticon cars. You look at Defensor, you look at the Stunticons, there's different shapes and sizes, so the silhouette looks kind of wonky at times, if you will. But in this case, it's like you have the Elita-One jet center combiner piece, and then when you really think about it, you have Moonracer, which is let's call it the base mold for all of this, and then you had Novastar, which was a slight retool of Moonracer, new head, and had a different gun, and then you went to Autobot Greenlight, which what they did also, it's like, oh hey, there's a new head, but at least in this case, we gave you Dazzle Strike, the Battle Master, animal companion, and the little, accessory. But they all were the same alt mode. They all were the same mold alt mode, just with new heads and slightly new accessories across them, but it was the same alt modes and all repainted. And then we get to Lancer here, and Lancer, from what it looks like, from what I could tell looking at this, is essentially it's the same mold, 100%. It has a new head sculpt to match the head sculpt or the head design of that Generation 1 appearance from the cartoon from 1985. And then it looks like the accessories is just pretty much the accessories that would have came with Novastar. Pretty much that short end kind of gun and the combiner piece, which you could use for your foot and or your leg. But there's no Battle Master here. There's no extra Titan Master piece or anything. It's just straight up that. And it's going to be in a Generation Selects box from what it seems. So it's going to be WFC-GS05, War for Cybertron, Generation Select 05, and that's that. And I mean, she looks great though. I mean, it's a color scheme that is not too common in Transformers lore. It's like something that you only really see, lightly with, let's say, an Impactor, and that's about it. Even Impactor is not the same kind of orangey yellow. It's actually, it kind of reminds me even of the European G2 Constructicons, where they had kind of like these orangey variants. But yeah, this is pretty cool. This is really like out of nowhere news. Clearly, it looks like, judging by the photos, this is probably straight from the factories. And this is cool. This is cool. I really dig it. So now we have a combiner team, all female, that's complete. And again, the only negative I could say is each limb is the exact same mold, just bearing a head difference. So that's kind of different, I guess you could say. Some people don't like that there'll be variety. There isn't much variety. Other people will kind of like the uniformity of it. I mean, let me know what you think about that for sure, because me personally, I kind of like variety when it comes to my combiners. I really like Defensor. I've always leaned towards Defensor as one of my favorite combiners from a design standpoint, just because of the variety of different characters and alt modes that it has among them, as opposed to I also love Road Caesar, and they're all just sports cars. So, but that's more of a character kind of thing. So this is really cool, though. I really dig it. Let me know what you think with the purple and the orange and it being a yet another Generation Select exclusive. It looks like Hasbro is really pushing this Generation Selects thing and really using this as a opportunity to put characters when they don't have a place in retail, when it doesn't make sense for a character to fit in the assortment, let's say the deluxe assortment for retail for Siege or something, or they just have a place for it. They could use the Siege Generation Select stuff here, or the Hasbro Pulse website, to find a place for those things. So this is really cool. Orthia, aka Elita Infin1te, is finally complete, and she's looking very colorful.